Thanks, Jay. Jay reminding me to switch the recording on. And thank you. That there, I mean, again, very, very clear indication. Beautiful 3 TAB. And if you have a look back at that Eagle Farm race, you can see they're both just standalone, fantastic indications. And, there's nothing else to look at. When there's nothing else to look at, it makes it quite simple, really. Okay, so that race there at Rose Hill, too many things going against us there. Morpheville, too much colour and on things that are too short in price, so we can't sort of spread ourselves too wide in that race without being guaranteed of losing money. And then Flemington race 2. So for the day so far, up until 12:40, and about 50, so half an hour. So from about 10 past 12 or so. 2 very, very clear races, and one of them to place, and the other one to come in for the win there. That's enough on 10 and 50 to say, I don't need to do anything else today. Honestly, you've just made probably $30 or $40 on the first race, and on this one, another 158 back, minus your 60. So, you're 140 or so in profit at this stage, I would say. The way that I did things, I took, Eagle Farm race 1. Let me have a look. You can see that I took the 2 of those. So that's put me 142 up. So another, I only put 5 and 25 on those. That's where I'm getting confused. Okay. So I only put 5 and 25 on those. I was wondering, how come I'm not more in profit if I took 2 of those or whatever. So anyway, you can see, quite a profitable day leading up until that point. We'll skip forward because we've got Flemington coming up. So we'll come back to 12:45. Love this down here on the number 5. I'm just going to turn the grey on very quickly. And Set and Forget and Turif. I don't like the race. I'm going to be quite risky here. Again, because of that risk, I'm going to reduce my odds. I'm going to take the 7 and the 5 each way. And turn it up.
Sweet at $8.40. Set and Forget goes in black and white checkered cap. Yellow cap is on stablemate Gig Guy.
Right, I'll tell you what I'm worried about here. I'm worried about the amount of colour in the race. And I'm worried about a few other little niggles here and there. I mean, this, even territory down the bottom's got a couple of little tiny niggles. Late on the number 8. And then not anything until you get up to the top 3, which includes that Set and Forget. And I'm a little bit concerned about Set and Forget, but I like these punchy indications here. I do like that number 7 a lot. I like these later indications that have come in for it as well. So, there's a little bit going on there. It's certainly not the ideal race for us. And I would certainly appreciate some of you not wanting to do anything in that race. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to turn it up. They're slow to load, so.
And a link between the 2 dead heaters. So Zaha lines in for his first start. Seriously Good is coming up. And he goes, so they're just about ready. Tariff standing in well. Little Artist to come in. First start since a knee operation. So pretty wide market. And $4 Stratcom, the tote favourite, $4.40 specific. So they're ready to go now. Stand by for a start. The famous straight 6, 1,200 metres. Get ready and they're off and racing. Stratcombe again, okay, seriously good, missed the start by probably 2 or 3 lengths at least. Territory had jumped away all right. Tariff was away nicely. Set and Forget had begun well. As they settle into stride now, and Dubai Gold closest to the inside is showing up. They virtually track the middle of the course, and it's Stratcombe who has the lead in company with Dubai Gold nearer its inside. Then the blinkers of Jugalation, and Tariff is up there about 3rd and 4th on the outside in company with Set and Forget. Wider, deeper still then in the yellow cap was Gig Guide. It's outside Royal Bender. Carvan is just in behind that bunch of horses, and Specific is poised, but seriously good has got to the outside of her. Little Artist one of the last. And as they come along to the 400 metres, Rock Me Sweet has switched courses, coming right closest to the inside. They come to the 300 metre mark, and Set and Forget out wide, and Tariff go into the lead ahead of Stratcombe, Jugalation, Rock Me Sweet. Territory starting to finish off, and here's Specific letting loose for the run down the outside. It's a Jugalation with Specific out wide, Tariff in the middle, but it's Specific who hits the front near the outside rail, spins away a good win. Specific came clear, beat Set and Forget by 2, Jugalation 3rd, Tariff maybe 4 from Gig Guide. Rock Me Sweet ended up right over from the inside. Find those Little Artists, and then...
I'll tell you what, Specific's one of my old sort of time black bookers, and Mr. Consistent. Anyway, he's normally also paying much better odds. I mean, I'm going back a year or so now. Some of you may remember, most of you won't. But Specific's one that's sort of come in quite a bit for us at quite long odds. And what else came in there? Oh, no, we got 3rd. Set and Forget came 2nd. There you go. It's a little bit of a surprise. Thought Jubilation was on the inside there. Anyway, so yeah, fantastic animal. And, usually, only I say that because they make us money. But obviously not that long in the odds. They did have some quite good indication for it. So did Set and Forget. And I mean, amongst the really good indication in that race, we've got the trifecta, haven't we? So, oh no, we didn't have. What was the other one? Regulation, Set and Forget, and Specific. So yeah, between all the good indications in that race, we've got the trifecta there. And in the ratings as well, as you can see. In the ratings, we've actually got the first 4 in the ratings there, 2, 9, 5 and 7 in the first 4, and the first 4's paid $5,500 in Queensland, so wouldn't we all like to be on that? Of course, if we were, it wouldn't have paid $5,500, so, and $2,500 in New South Wales, over $3,000 in Victoria. Not saying that because I want you to all start doing first 4s, I'm saying that because it's quite a good sign of accuracy. Okay, let's move on. The next race coming up is Newcastle, and it is extremely messy, and we don't do them anyway. It's over 900 metres, and we don't have enough money in the win pool, and it is a maiden race and a provincial meeting. We want to try and steer away from those and concentrate on the metros, give ourselves a little bit of breathing room, not feel so rushed like we have to jump in and quickly make decisions and all those sorts of things. There's no decision to be made in that race. We will move on to Eagle Farm and have lots of time to be able to make a good decision. Okay. So here at Eagle Farm, I mean, it's sort of, did you get a message in your other chat? LL? No. Oh, yeah, no, I did get that message. Yeah, yeah, I'll get that to you very shortly, Kerry. I've just been incredibly under the pump since I got that. I don't think I got that until yesterday at some stage. But anyway, all good. Lovely, thank you. Um, Yeah, this is kind of looking a little bit less exciting, this race, to be honest with you. Kerry, I'm looking at my codes here, and it says that I've already generated one for you, but that just can't be possible. So do me a favour, will you, please? Could you, I'm just going to send you a link. If you can just click on this link now, which will activate your Betfair account with the software, and just tell me whether this link's expired, because it's blowing me away. I've just sent it to you in a chat now. Thanks for that. Quite strange. Because I've got you in the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. That's just weird. I mean, if somebody else has got it and I didn't do anything there at Eagle Farm. The only thing to look at there was the number 6, Strike the Stars, and like it's looking like an okay little place each way sort of return there, but it's kind of just not feeling 100% with it. It is the only one to take. If you're going to take anything in that race, it would certainly be Strike the Stars. But I think we can wait for better things than that for sure.
Leader half Mahasara. 2 lengths away, Abstract's going into gun run third on the outside. Jetstar Girl fourth on the fence. A length away out background, travelling 3 deep around and plus, and Black Jag's back on the rail. Then War Charm followed by Noisy Ocean. Strike the Stars is back third last, then Pocket the Money and Collect the last of all. On the bend, 500 metres to go. Red Roar, the leader, Mahasara coming away from the fence. Abstract's about the field, 3 deep around those from Jetstar Girl, followed by Black Jag, and further back is Outback Grond in the straight. Mahasara and Red Royal led Abstract coming up on the outside. Strike the Stars is trying to make ground from a long way back, and Noisy Ocean down the outside to the 200. Mahasara and Abstract, they went together. Noisy Ocean running home down the outside. Mahasara is the leader from Abstract and Noisy Ocean. Mahasara is in front close to home, and Mahasara beat Noisy Ocean. Abstract third just in front of Jetstar Girl. Warchar made ground from Black Jag. The next time in the race, Strike the Stars never really got into it, followed by M Plus and Red Royal.
Well, I'm glad Strike the Stars didn't get into it, because that was my lay in that race. Yeah, look, that's why I don't get too excited about them. I don't get overly excited about them because, that end of the market, I'm yet to be convinced that that's where we should be going, you know, in terms of where we're concentrating our efforts. You know, the favourite was sort of looking a bit strong. You had a bit of patchy colour there. You had a couple of 10-minute indication there. Nothing here. There's some stuff here, and more indication there on number 13. A little bit more happening, just patchy bits and pieces. Look, it wasn't overly that messy. It's just that combined with the each way odds, combined with looking at the top half of the market, and my excitement goes, bleh. You know, I'm not that keen on races like that. For a smallish kind of a pool of only like 200,000, you know, given the metros, it kind of is, but you know, a couple of $100,000. You know, I want to see stronger colour than that. I don't want to see that the majority of the colour in the race is grey and blue. Yes, those couples stand out at 3 minutes on the number 6. Again, top half of the market for me, and I don't really like being up there. It feels quite dangerous. For some people, when they first start, it feels dangerous not being up there with the crowd. Oh, God, well, you know, look at the money up there on the second favourite, though. Geez, doesn't that look good? And yeah, it probably does. Probably does. It's just that if that's where you're concentrating your efforts, you need a higher strike rate to overcome the lack of value. So, you know, there's quite a lot of us that will concentrate on those outsiders and keep looking at those, you know, unusual indications, unusual mainly because they're at the end of the market where indications probably shouldn't be. And they're all on their own, so there's nothing else happening. There's a massive gap in the market. You've got two okay supported favourites, perhaps, then nothing, and then you know, runner or two outside of that order of favouritism at good odds, and that's my cup of tea. These races here, as you can see, Albury, forget about it. Ararat, forget about it. I've taken ticks out of those races. For Lay Logic, they are just crap. There's been a couple of losses for Lay Logic today, and they were at Albury and Ararat. So I thought, no, that's it. I've absolutely had enough. Actually, one was at Morphettville. That was that Sand Pebble. And so that was okay. Now, Rickerton, Rose Hill. All right, so if you have a look at that race there, just going back, and you know, we've got a little while till the next race coming up at Rose Hill there. You know, it's those lovely 3 TAB indications. You know, lovely block of colour there. I'm just going to turn the grey off for a second. And with the grey off, in terms of home TAB indications and in terms of clear colour, the number 5 is there. The reason that it's not a higher rated runner is because here at 25 minutes, it's before we're updating, before we calculating the rating system. Of course, you could make that happen by setting it to calculate from 40 minutes, and it would have given that points, and it would have been much higher. And then this stuff that's happened later here, because we're calculating at 0 seconds, that's the final time that the ratings are calculated, then we jump into here at minus 30 seconds with great indications, and it's not showing up in the rating. The only other runner in the race, as you can see with the grey turned off, with home TAB indications, was Set and Forget. And then the other one, which was the number 2. So the 2, the 9 and the 5, and that's what came in for that trifecta there, as we know already. And in terms of the ratings there, it's actually picked the top 4, so 2, 9, 5 and 7. We'll go forward to Rose Hill Race 4. I'm just going to turn the grey on because we are looking at a bigger pool. And I like the look of the number 9. I've sort of been looking at that from the 10-minute mark down as we've been flicking back and forth. and I like the number 5. So both of those runners there are quite appealing. The number 2 down the bottom, you know, that's one of these things that are going to feel a little bit uncomfortable, but I'd say it's going to be, you know, one for us to keep an eye on. You know, I'll just sort of let you know a little bit more as to what I'm thinking of that when we get closer. At this stage, it's looking more like a no invest, particularly for any novice user. And you know, I say that because it's sort of quite patchy. When you turn the grey on, what we're doing when we turn in the grey on in a race like that is we're looking for, you know, some clarification on one of these runners over everything else, but we don't then. We've also got the number 6 out of Africa with home TV movement. We've also then got the number 5, nothing for the number 3, and then we've got these great little indications on the number 2, which is on the rank outsider. So I'll, you know, so we've got about a minute and a half left to go, or less, and we'll make our decision on that as we get nearer. What was the auto picks for that race at Flemington? So I was going to take 2, 9 and 7. All right, well, Rose Hill's loading away quite nicely. It's a real risk, this race. It is a real risk. You know, being that we are in a live trading webinar, and, you know, some of you are going to be saying, well, you know, you said that it's a real risk, and, you know, I'm not prepared to take that risk. I am prepared to take that risk, and I'm going to just place it off. Now, again, I have reduced my stake by half, because I don't feel 100% confident with it, so I've just outlaid 5 and 25 on both of those selections, the number 9 and the number 2. I've taken them both in New South Wales. The minimum place dividend on offer for me at this stage is the $3.70 on the number 9, and then I'll go out to $6.10 on the number 2. So, you know, quite obviously, no matter which one places, I'm still going to make a handy profit, and hopefully we get one of them come in for the win. The rest is up to how the race pans out.
Off they go. Racing, Doublet and Debut were the best 2 out. Doublet driven hard in the early stages to take the lead, and then came Miss Kiss and Clam Chowder, followed by Ellen Barry. She's a rock star driving through in the middle as well, followed by Rosmurder, Sienna Red, and then My Seville. And out of Africa is back last of all. Doublet crossed over onto the fence, so it came over from the outside alley and finds the rail a length in front of Debut in second spot, and then came third Ellen Barry. On the outside is She's a Rock Star, followed by Clam Chowder, and then Rosmurder going up to midfield. Miss Kiss is going backwards. It's losing its spot. My Seville's run up to join it, followed by Sienna Red, and last is out of Africa. Well, Doublet's been given its head, and it's shot away coming around the home turn. 3 or 4 on Dibia. It is forced to chase now, about 3 lengths to Ellen Barry, and She's a Rock Star. And then Clam Chowder and Rosmurder coming down the outside. Doublet's in front at the 300.
Oh, come on, come on, come on.
Starting to close in.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Inside, joined by Divya out in the centre of the track, has taken the lead. My Seville is running on in the centre, but it's Divya the leader close to home, and Divya will just last from My Seville. Third will go to Doublet, followed by She's a Rock Star, Sienna Red, and then
Doublet's come in third there, so, you know. My Seville has actually come in second, they've called, and Doublet in third. But I don't know about that. Yeah, I think it is. I think we've got second and third there. That's how he's called it. So,
and was much too good in the run to the line. My Seville got a long way back early, but has made a good ground to run on into second spot, and it'll be a photo for third, but it looks like Doublet will just hang on in front of She's a Rock Star.
So Divya landing some big bets, gets the prize for Tim Clark and Bart Cummings, a mare by Dan Zero. That was her third win at start number 8, paying $3.10 and $1.40. My Seville at $3.10 was second, and Doublet at $4.80. 7.92 were the numbers there after the 4th event from Rosehill, and the quadding there kicks off in the next race, number 5. at the start of Belmont, which is about to join in here on Sky Racing 1. The first event is for the 2-year-olds over the mile in a fairly open betting affair. The Social Network at 4.20 the favourite. Charcoal Rose at 6.50. Pop Culture from the...
There you go. So $60 outlay, $197 return, or might as well say $200 back. So $140 profit or so out of that race. Off 5 and 25 on each of them. We'll do that when I take two selections sometimes, if they're a little bit kind of just a little bit hazy. It wasn't extremely hazy, but it was a bit, you know. Yeah, the number 5's just got a bit of grey happening for it and things. It's got no real other strong colour, really. And yeah, the number 2, as you know, was all the way outside of the order of favouritism. It was a rank outsider, so to have those sorts of indications on it was extremely unusual, and that's what we're here to do, is to pick up on that unusual movement at the unusual end of the market. Townsville is a no, as you can see. We've got a red light on there from the wind pools, but you know, as you sort of go through, you know, it doesn't take long to work out, you know, a couple of weekends that we only want to concentrate on those metropolitan meetings on Saturday. So in saying that, number 8 there stands out like the proverbial, because you've got big purple indications there, and be a little bit interested to see how that will pan out, but not, you know, don't really care too much, because it's kind of a little bit of a moot point, really. You know, like, they're just very, very messy races and quite small wind pools and things. We are looking for much better opportunities. It didn't come in either, by the way. Number 5 did, which was the second favourite. That's interesting at Belmont. I mean, you know, that's the sort of thing that, you know, once you've got the experience and you're sitting there on your own and you don't have, you know, 80 people connected to you also relying on your selections and things, that's the sort of selection that you will take. It's the sort of selection that I'm just about to take too. I just don't quite know whether I should, because I don't know whether I want anybody else following that, because it is very, very messy. There's a scratching in that race, that's what's happened. I doubt very much I'll get on at this stage. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I'll just, you know, those purple indications, that's outstanding. It's the 2nd or 3rd best backed run in the race at that stage. So, you know, it's, you know, if you look at the $72 beforehand, that's actually moved quite significantly up the order of favouritism. And, you know, 5 and 25, again, I've reduced my outlay by half. Because I know that it isn't completely ideal, but I also know how ideal it is to see big purple indications like that. So there's a little bit of conflict there. If there's ever any conflict or doubt, then it means either walk away from it or you know, reduce your exposure, or reduce your liability.
And certainly be right in this too. The Ghost Interesting go up the here. Kitty Rogerson's already saluted the judge at the opening event on the card. Here's Simone Montgomery to take the ride here. Will pay 2 kilos. Good winner in Canberra. Haven't seen this horse in Dale for the first half of the NT, but does come with good wraps. Watch the market on this one. Currently favourite on Tats at around about $4.10. Apologies, we don't have pricing services across the boards here today, so just relying on the tote at this stage to give you some sort of guide on money and the markets. 3 Wild West, Neil Dyer up with Hawke's Bay, and another tilt at this year's Darwin Cup Carnival here. He has this
over nose stands okay with Mystic Dust.
Wondering what was happening to the radio. I was on the TV. I was on the wrong channel. It's really confusing sometimes. Anyway, got Morphettville race 4 on top of us, so we'll concentrate on it now.
And they're at the gates at Morphettville as well, so let's hope that they can get this horse up into the stalls pretty quickly. The others stand in there nice and quietly at the moment as Breeze Road again digs his toes in, and the attendants apply a stronger grip.
First starter, 5.5 lengths, 50 Uridashi. Have.com.
Paul King. He's out of the saddle. He's going to way up there inside the barriers. I think minus the hoop. And they've nearly got him there. Breeze Road, he's 3/4 of the way inside the stalls. A bit more muscle power added by gate attendants, and they're doing a few by centimetres. And they have Breeze Road in the stall. So fine, Lindsay gets a run. Red light goes on, 1600 for 2-year-olds. About to go. The social network will run public elect here in the first of 8. Away, racing to the first, out the back early on, Schuber, Quadruplex and Dr. Indy lacking a bit of speed as well. Contest Legrand, the social network and Malachi, the first trio to get going. Planet Clear's going to speed over and company with Breeze Road when they attack that first.
Sorry everyone, I could just see out the side there the next door neighbour. Must have been hedging or doing or something or other. He's come through the grass, everything. Drax was on the front doorstep. He's launched like a rocket and bailed this poor fellow up in the bushes. So I just to do the bolt and go and rescue this poor fellow. And Drax, as he's maturing, he's becoming much more like that too, which is kind of a little bit of a worry. Geez, he's good with the kids though, but don't go near him if he's in the car with them and things. Gee whiz, I've seen him go off like you wouldn't believe, and yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the other end of it.
Forget about she's on fire, tailed off a long last as they prepare to swing it. Planet Clear will bring them around the home turn just in front of Breeze Road. They're at the top of the straight now, back behind them, Delancey looking for the way clear. They bumped into on the outside Contest Legrand, getting up on the fence, the social network, then Quadruplex, and here comes Dr. Indy starting to wind up down the outside. Many Hopes, Planet Clear, the social network, Delancey getting through. Dr. Indy's wide out, he's running on. Dr. Indy, the social network, they're wide apart, the social network and Dr. Indy, the social network, they went to the line, locked together. Don't know. Very close between Dr. Indy and the social network, and a tight one to the first. Behind those, Scotland Street was close up with Contest Legrand, Quadruplex, Roman Nose, Mystic Dust.
That's what happens in those races. That's my first loss for the day today. Belmont. You know, and that's the sort of race that it's going to happen in. You know, I like those indications. I really was kind of, you know, quite set on them, and I was prepared to overlook the fact that there was a bunch of other things to also consider in that race. So, all right, let's go to Morphettville. And that's just far too messy, so we won't be doing anything with that race at all. Far too messy. I don't mind the look of this thing down here, the number 9, but it is really quite a messy affair.
Stages and next end Morgan also slotting into a good spot from a wide draw. Crusading to the
second last. They hit up the back and Eckenbrack took off in front to lead by nearly 3. Make that 4. Rebuka second, 2 away, Torso Giro third, Card Sharp was 4. Next on the inside was Jumpman from Mogadam. Then Ultra Savings on the inside of Currency Cougar. Magnificate inside of Reprisal, willing to win and got to keep cool last 4. That must be 15 lengths off the leader, which is Eckenbrack. Price is trying to steady him up now mid-race. Leads away by 2 or 3 to Rebuka, closing the gap now. Torso Giro third, Card Sharp 4th. Jumpland next on the inside of Mogadam. Then Ultra Savings on the inside of Currency Cougar from Reprisal, Magnificate. Got to keep cool and ruling to win. They're together at the tail. They're inside the 1,000. They're halfway. Eckenbrack led narrowly now. Rebuka going up on his outside, a half away. 2.5 away then.
The lay on Lay Logic in that race at Belmont was the social network, and it was in a photo that came up the rail, and I wasn't sweating on it too much, and exposure was quite low on it. So, but yeah, came up and jumped into the photo.
From Rebuka, Card Sharp was going up deep and out of state. His claim. Currency Cougar goes with him. Right up the track then was Reprisal. Got to keep calls tracking up behind those out wide as they're about to turn for home. It's Eckenbrack and Card Sharp together. Currency Cougar joins in. He's got to keep calls starting to let go. Reprisal goes with him at the 200-metre mark. Currency Cougar, Card Sharp. Deep out, got to keep cool. It's Currency Cougar and got to keep cool. Reprisal as well. Track finish. Got to keep cool. Reprisal. Reprisal narrowly.
You know, that was kind of a little bit on the radar, that thing, quite obviously. There's a little bit of activity happening down here on these two runners. There may be a couple of people in the chat that have sniffed that out. I kind of did too, but, you know, really, that's a very messy race. You know, maybe, look, this late sort of indication here, which I didn't really kind of take too much note of, and with the grey off and all that sort of stuff, but, you know, we've seen much better indications today, haven't we? You definitely have to take both of those indications, and, yeah, it's kind of a little one that gets away, but, you know, it was the messier kind of race that we've looked at in the last half an hour. In terms of, you know, what we would consider as being an invest. So, yeah, you know, keep an eye on those sorts of things, though, and start to get to that level where you can realise those. Because, you know, that's where the real value is, and that's where, you know, you're going to pick up those lovely, lovely odds. I mean, like I say, it's just under $14, that for the win, and $5.10 for the place. I mean, you sort of can't go wrong. The only way you can go wrong is if it doesn't come in, of course. If you were going to take that number 9, then perhaps, you know, you would also be taking that number 6 there. There you go. Barry's picked it up. And, of course, you know, no doubt Barry took both of those, the number 9 and the number 6 there, because that number 9 is definitely the stronger indication of the two. And then you look straight underneath and it's like, yeah, I can see a little bit of goings-on down here. The other one up the top with a bit of a home tote indication was Card Sharp, that I think was called somewhere along the line as well. So, you know, that's okay. I don't mind letting ones like that go because, you know, it's... you know, you sort of compare that, like I say, to sort of clearer races for the day and things, and especially when I had that grey on, and I guess that was perhaps a little oversight on my part as well, is that I've jumped straight from, you know, Belmont and sort of having a little bit of a look at things and jumped into this race at Morphettville and didn't turn that grey off, which we really need to do in races like that. Grey really comes into its own in big pools, you know, a couple of 100,000, or where there's no other stronger colour to look at. So there might be absolutely nothing, 1 or 2 blues in the screen or something, and then you can turn the grey on. But ideally, you know, we want to see strong colour, and in that sense, probably stands out a little bit more. 9 and 6 were the 2 top-rated runners there as well. So again, you know, like would have been an okay little Dutch bet there for anybody that that fancies doing things in that way. Let's move on to the next. We've got Rockhampton, which is running at the moment. We're not interested in that. Taronga, we've got Flemington on top of us. We've got less than a minute left to go. At number 11, Tough Future. That looks outstanding, doesn't it? Let's go and have a look down the bottom. I will turn the grey on in this race. Why? Because there's hardly any other colour. Looking for anything that stands out. So I was waiting for Kev because he loves those indications on those outsiders. Number 1 stands out, also looks okay with the grey on, and they're the only home turvy indications in the race. Number 11 is the definite 100% choice without too much hesitating. Beyond Pardon, the number 8 up there. It's also a very tough indication. Then we've also got a very strong favourite as well, nearing on to that $2 mark, near on that $2 mark, and with really good indications. Right, so what's happening down here? Not a hell of a lot. I'm going to jump on this Tough Future because I just love that indication. Absolutely love that indication. And that's about the size of that. Okay, so I have jumped on Tough Future there. I'm just a little bit, it's a fairly flimsy indication. It's there, but it is flimsy. And the race is going to jump, before we see anything else come in anyway, I dare say.
Daisy, Jungle Ruler's reared up and Gouchy flying out the back.
See this late stuff that's happened. Number seven, late move that's come on because they thought the race was about to jump and come on! Bloody stupid bloody website. Oh, that's all right. He's out getting vet checked. Ha! Oh yeah, big slit. Come on, big slit. Come on, big slit. That's all I can say. See, that race is about to jump, about to call. Someone's going plonk, 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 and all of a sudden a jockey got spat out the back. Love it. Love it. Anyway, there's no guarantee of it coming in, but I love it. Love that indication. Love that indication. I love this on the number 13 as well, but do we take them all? We can sort of afford to almost, but I really do like that late on the number 13 as well. But anyway, let's have a listen. Let's not get too excited, eh? He's paying $70, that thing, so...
The early leaders as well, and just off them is La Rocket as they settle fully into stride. Beyond Pardon finds the lead now. Jungle Ruler second, Tough Future deep out gets up into third. La Rocket fourth, the inside. Shadow Facts launched into a nice place, is a length and a half away fifth, although he is travelling a little bit wide. Time Matters in the centre, and Tiakanu is on the rail, followed by Rocky Times Flash Coupe. A length Dr. Nip and Tuck at the 800. Journeyman next on the inside, followed by Stands Out. And at the end, Scenic Scene, who's on the rails in company with Big Slick. Beyond Pardon tries to slip away at the 600, led by a couple of lengths on Jungle Ruler, the Rocket, and then Tough Future, the outside. Tiakanui trying to come through near the inside. Shadow Facts, Handley poised as they swing around the bend. He's about 3 or 4 lengths off the leaders. Journeyman peels out wide behind him and Stands Out came the deepest. Beyond Pardon led at the 300, 2 lengths to the Rocket. Tiakanui, wider Shadow Facts, he's labouring. Journeyman's coming on down the outside, and Dr. Nip and Tuck has made significant ground to join in on the inside, and he's hit the front of the Doctor. Dr. Nip and Tuck hits the lead from Journeyman, Tiakanui, and then Scenic Scene, but Dr. Nip and Tuck comes away. Dr. Nip and Tuck, Journeyman runs on, but Dr. Nip and Tuck beat Journeyman a length and a half. On the Rocky Times of Tiakanui for the Miners, Time Matters is close up in Scenic Scene. Then Beyond Pardon, who weakened out late, followed further back by Big Slick, and then La Rocket and Tough Future. Shadow Facts, a shocker. Stands Out behind him, Jungle Ruler second last, and Flash Coupe is last home.
Yeah, didn't do anything, which is fine. Could the indications have been better? Perhaps, but they were still okay, and we've made money off worse indications today. So yeah, I'll always jump on those. Always. Always. Okay. Newcastle's a big fat no. And then we've got Eagle Farm. So this next one will be my last invest because that'll take me over my stop loss pretty much. With over 5.25, it'll bring me down to 230, and that'll be $2 off it, and I'll call it a day at that stage, I think. Define logo in this race is looking the one. I'm sure you'll all agree it's the only one to look at, and that's what makes it such a fantastic indication. All right, I like Little Stranger here. I've been keeping an eye on mailing. I do like Little Stranger there. And Define logo up the top is a very strong indication. Again, you know, like it's kind of a little bit dangerous and a little bit. The clearest thing at the other end of that market is definitely number 7, Little Stranger. And then you've got Einstein up there as well with no home tab indications, so it's kind of not so clear there. And then definitely up to the top runner in the race. So that
so Define logo to complete the line.
That's me. Rayburn, little home CAB indication coming there. Look at that late. Wow, that's lovely. I had NetBet logged into, I'd be able to jump on that, but not a hope. Not a hope.
The gates open and they're off and racing in the
That's
Tattersall
beautiful,
Cup.
that late indication on Rayburn.
Inside, one of the
Lovely.
first to go, although he'll drop back quickly as a little
You're only going to get on those with the Queensland TAB, or I'm just going to go to the race now. We'll go to the race now.
And then comes Rambling On and Smoking Chimneys between runners as last. Out by the 1800, Little Stranger to a clear lead. 2 lengths in front of Worldwide. Viking Hero a half length away. Third on the fence, and Jedi Starfighter is fourth. 3 deep going forward. Einstein's got himself in a great spot in fifth.
And just put a couple of dollars on it on Betfair while it's running. There you go.
He's over one off the rail. A couple to Rayburn, a similar margin to Rambling On the inside of Persian Star, and Smoking Chimneys is last of all. In the back towards the 1,200 metres mark, they run Little Stranger by 1.5, the Jedi Starfighter, and a similar margin Viking Hero on the inside of Worldwide. 2 lengths away Einstein, fifth on the outside of Mailing, a length away Shuffle the Cash, a length to Bailey out, 3 parts to Fine Largo, and they're followed by Rayburn on the inside of Persian Star, and then Smoking Chimneys picking up ground on the outside of Rambling On. Little Stranger had a good back down the side of the 900 metres mark. He's got away 3 Jedi Starfighter. 2 lengths away, then Viking Hero on the inside of Worldwide. 2 lengths away, then came Einstein. Then Mailing Shuffle the Cash to Fine Largo's about to be called upon. Smoking Chimney starting his run from Bail Me Out. Rayburn Rambling On, and Persian Star went to the tail of the field. They're on the corner in the Tats Cup. Little Stranger came round the bend just in front of Viking Hero. Worldwide on the outside. Einstein came out and so did Shuffle the Cash. And the Fine Largo's pulled out to make its run. Well in the straight, Little Stranger, Viking Hero, Worldwide tackled by Einstein in the grey. Shuffle the Cash has raced up on the outside. Then to Fine Largo, Rayburn inside the 200. Shuffle the Cash. Einstein's fighting back on the inside. It's Einstein and Shuffle the Cash. They hit the line, and Einstein has just beaten Shuffle the Cash a lip. Now 4 lengths away, third's a photo. They're all in line. Little Stranger, Viking Hero, Rayburn at Fine Largo. Then comes Persian Star. The next time in the race, Worldwide, followed by Mailing. Smoking Chimneys a long way back with Bail Me Out, Rambling On, and tailback last, Jedi Starfighter. Einstein, I think, on the inside will just get in here over Shuffle the Cash in a thriller. Well, Shuffle the Cash. He went past Einstein. He went past him.
I was eyeing off Einstein, as I mentioned. It just didn't have the home tab indication, so I was always a little bit sceptical. You know, not really too sure whether I should, you know, sort of take the risk with it or not. But they're the sorts of things that you do, you know, based on a lot of experience and a little bit of gut feeling and all those sorts of bits and pieces. But you know, the ideal indication for me in that race was certainly the number 7 Little Stranger with, you know, that earlier block there at the 1 minute mark. I think it may have grabbed third, but there are quite a few of them in there for that third position. The 2 leaders broke away quite convincingly, and we might have a third. Oh, I can't be certain. There we go. We did get third with Little Stranger. So that's a lovely little result there, obviously, with the $4.20. Okay. There you go. All right, I'm straight off into Rose Hill. Let's go make another few dollars if we can. I'm on 1 and 7 here.
Quite well, lovely, big, strong mare by Fastnet. $4 on the tote and in the ring. Now Shazando and Sunday Rose will be the last two to move in. Shazando's got a white cap on to distinguish from Berkshire Moore. Sunday Rose about to be led up into the stalls for the running of race 5, the Steele's Handicap. All clear given from behind the gates to indicate they're all in. Racing and coming out slowly, we've got the two in the same colours there. We had Shazando and also Berkshire Moore missing the start. Sunday Rose going well back. Othello jumped well and is just in front of Jealous Guy. Jive up with them in the early stages, about 3/4 off the lead, running third from Malambo, lot 70, Handy on the inside. 3/4 to Sailor Stand, Storm Kite about midfield as they go around the first bend near the 800, and then Mind Reader followed by Sunday Rose, and then Shazando, and last of all is Berkshire Moore. So Othello's been well supported on track, has the lead at the 600 just in advance of Jealous Guy. Jive is tracking them, so getting a lovely trail up behind the leaders. On the inside, lot 70. Then Storm Kite is railing up to 5th, followed further back on the outside by Malambo, Sailor Sam, Mind Reader and Shazando at the head of the others. Into the straight, the leader is Othello from Jealous Guy. Jive is now coming out after the leaders down the outside with Malambo. And then lot 70 and Storm Kite looking for a run in the middle. Jive went up in the centre. Storm Kite is coming through and it's inside, and Othello is still there on the rail. It's Jive going through now with Storm Kite and Othello over on the fence. Jive is just in front. Storm Kite died them. They hit the line. Give it to Jive. Jive won it by a nose, I reckon, to Storm Kite and Othello. Then lot 70 followed by Malambo. Followed making up some ground. We've got Berkshire Moore from Jealous Guy, Mind Reader, Shazando, and last in Sunday Rose.
Sharkbite is front close to the line, and Sharkbite gets up.
Sharkbite was unbeaten at 2. He has the best pedigree of any son of Redout's Choice at stud. Sharkbite, a stakes-winning son of Redout's Choice, offered at a great price. Sharkbite, now standing in Victoria at Eliza Park Stud.
At Ultratune, we care for our customers. That's why with most Ultratune services, we offer a 6-month, 24-hour roadside assist product absolutely free. Ultratune, now offering roadside assistance. For all roadside packages, check out ultratune.com.au.
Numbers are through at Rosehill on race 5, and Jive the winner at $4.50 and $1.90 from the Anthony Cummings yard. A filly by Fastnet Rock, who won the Jim Crack Stakes as a 2-year-old. That was in 2009. And salutes there to
James, it was just like down there with it in the market. There were two very strong indications for it. There was very little happening anywhere else at that stage, and Othello was down there with it, as you would remember. There was no other indication in the race, so for me it was just about going a little bit wider than I probably needed to. So. All right, our next race is Morphettville, which, as we all know, I mean, already it's not looking that great. And then we've got Darwin, which is definitely a no invest. Then we've got Rockhampton at 3 o'clock, and then Flemington at 3 minutes past 3. So on that note, I think all being said and done, we've had not such a bad day, all in all, and I don't. Well, I've got to go off anyway, but I wouldn't be too keen on continuing on today anyway if I was a couple $100 in profit, which, you know, I am. So that's up to you guys, of course. After 3 o'clock, I always suggest that it does get a little dangerous at this time of year, and we just want to try and protect ourselves as much as we can. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to love yous and leave yous. Maybe I'll leave the loving and just leave yous. And look forward to speaking to you all next week, no doubt. And gigabyte, what was that? All right, guys, thank you so much for your time today. Like I say, I have thoroughly enjoyed the day, and I'll catch up with you next week, no doubt. Cheers for that. Thanks, everyone. No worries at all, guys. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.